Mr Chair, I want to start at the very beginning by saying how dare the Minister accuse the Labour Party of stereotyping beneficiaries. This from a national party. Paula Bennett sat in the National Caucus when Don Brash talked about beneficiaries breeding for business, solo mothers breeding for business. That was what the National Party said. And what did Paula Bennett have to say about that? Absolutely nothing. So how dare she stand in this House and accuse the Labour Party of stereotyping beneficiaries? This bill is the National Party resorting to the type of thing that it loves to do. There is nothing the National Party loves to do more than bashing beneficiaries, kicking people when they're down, because that's what this bill is all about. It's about kicking people when they're down. It's not about lifting them up. It's not about giving them a go. It's not about finding them a real job, because if the jobs were there, New Zealanders would take them. New Zealanders want to work. Thousands of people have been lining up outside supermarkets looking for work. If the jobs were there, they would take them. But this government have not created jobs. They've not closed the wage gap with Australia. The only gap they've closed with Australia is the unemployment gap. We used to have a lower unemployment rate than Australia did, and now it's higher under this government, and it's getting wider. It went from 6% to 6.8% in the last quarter alone. And what are the national government doing about that? Not a heck of a lot. They would rather pick on beneficiaries, tell them to get up, tell them they lack ambition because they're not out there applying for jobs that don't exist. If the jobs were there, they would be applying for them. They would be going for them, but they're not there. And what do we have from National? We had a job summit. No jobs out of the job summit. In fact, they don't even know. They never even bothered to measure whether any jobs came out of the job summit. We had the cycleway. Absolute flop. How many jobs came out of the cycleway? Not many, if any, came out of the cycleway. Then we were going to mine national parks. Not many jobs coming out of that. Mr Speaker, Mr Chairman, if the jobs were there, beneficiaries would be there looking for them, applying for them. How else? Anyone on the National Party benches, how can they explain thousands of people lining up outside a supermarket looking for work? No answer. Not an answer. Not a word. They've got no explanation for the fact that thousands of people have been lining up looking for jobs and the jobs aren't there. Where is the plan to create the jobs? Here's a plan to pick on the people who can't find them, to kick them when they're down and say they lack ambition because they're unemployed and that they need to get up and that they should stop breeding for business. Paula Bennett said this debate was going to get ugly. Well, actually, most of the ugly comments about beneficiaries have come from the members opposite, from the National Party. As Annette King pointed out, Judith Collins was the one that talked about beneficiaries sitting round watching Sky TV and getting stoned. That was when the debate got ugly. It was when the National Party waded into it and started stereotyping beneficiaries and kicking on the people when they're down. In the Labour Party, we don't take that approach. We think we should actually help. We should actually enable people to find work. We should help them raise their skills. We should intervene early. Early childhood education is critical. Early childhood education is critical. And what's the National Party done? They've cut funding to early childhood education. And they've cut second chance learning, a whole raft of second chance learning. Night classes used to provide a stepping stone for people who are on benefits to get back into work. The Minister, I'd be interested in her comments about that. The night classes provide a stepping stone. They may have been out of work for some time. It helps them to lift their skills, to catch up in some instances. People may need new computing skills, technologies change. They could go to night classes, they could do that. That rug has been totally pulled out from under them by the national government. Night classes gone altogether in the Hutt Valley. Not a single night class for a beneficiary in my electorate who wants to raise their skills before they go back into work. Not a single night class. Not a single night class that they can go to. The training incentive allowance cut by Paula Bennett. That second chance opportunity for people to get back into work through developing skills so that they can get real jobs. Real jobs. Not some make-work scheme, not some absolute thing that the government are dreaming is there but simply doesn't exist. Real jobs require some skill levels and the government are doing nothing to help people get them. Even at the higher end, people who have found themselves out of work and thought, well, I'll take this opportunity to go and do some upskilling, to maybe go and study at university. And what do they find? The doors are closed. The doors to the universities have been closed, Mr Chairman. Mr Chair.
I call